Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know or may know, April is not only your girl's birthday month, but it's also a very special awareness month, and in this a very special awareness month. That being April, and it's also Autistic Awareness Month, and for those of you who've been following me for the longest, the OGs of my channel, both channels actually, you know that I am autistic and I also have ADHD. And this video right here, I know you're wondering, what does it have to do with this month? Well, I said my video I made like about a year ago of why I was afraid of the Nick Jr. mascot face, Nick Jr. I said at the end of my video I was gonna do this video, but for some reason it took me a whole year to do it now. I don't know why, it just did. I never understood why, but we're finally doing it today. We're finally talking about another Nick Jr. Nickelodeon property that I was also scared of being growing up in my childhood. That being Yo Gabba Gabba. Now, I always had my memories with this show. In this video, I'm basically going to talk about how I was scared of it, why I was scared of it, and not only that, but what I do whenever it would be cut on, how I got over my fear, and I'm also going to talk about how I'm basically filling in the gaps. I'll explain that later on. So, when I was growing up, I've always had my love for Sesame Street, right? I've always loved Sesame Street. I was never scared of the puppets, ever. I was never scared of the puppets. I love the Muppets. I love Sesame Street. I was brought up with a lot of puppetry like shows, even Ubi. I heard that people are also scared of Ubi as well, but I for one am not scared of him. For those of you who are scared of him, I mean, I understand since it is like naked. They call the puppetry naked Muppet puppetry, which I totally understand. And I totally get. But for some reason, when it came to this show, the designs they did something. They just triggered something in the back of my mind that I just didn't like, I didn't like, and I never understood why. For instance, we have all the characters. We have all the characters we all know and love. We have DJ Lance Rock, we have Broby, we have Fufa, my beloved. Broby, who's also one of my favorite characters too now. Who I'll go more in depth on later. Muno, same for him. I'm gonna go more in depth on later. Tootie and Plex. And Plex, the magic robot. So, I don't know why, but some reason whenever somebody put this show on for me, I would always just run away. And it's just I don't know why. Well, I do well I can tell you some things I was scared of. I can tell you some things. But it's like basically Yo Gabba Gabba was like a variety show. Like Sesame Street. That's probably why I liked it so much. But I don't know why. I have a couple theories, right? One of my theories might be because those characters, they don't move. I mean, their mouths don't move. I mean, if you count Broby, but I mean, it's not like hand puppetry, it's just like mascot puppetry, you know? You know? And um a lot of things in the show always creep me out, like I have vivid memories of the theme song scaring me because like it's just the theme song of the show when I first started, so it's just so eerie. I never liked it. Like the noise in the background, even now I don't like it. Even now I don't like it. It's just it's never been like, a theme song that I grew out being scary. I grew up being scary. It's like, I'll give you an example. When I was younger, I used to be kind of scared of the Upside Down show theme song. But now that I'm older, I found it really catchy. But this is just one of those things that I will always forever be scared of. The theme song will always, not like scared like I was as a kid, but like it would like ear me out. It would be like very, very eerie, and I just I just never liked it. It's just never been my thing, you know? And also, let's talk about the characters that now let's talk about the characters that did scare me. And it's only two. It's only two characters that used to scare me. It would always be Broby and Muno. Muno used to scare me a lot. He did, mainly because of his one eye. His I think it was his one eye that did it for me. I just didn't like it, you know? It was it I just didn't like it. But for some reason, when I was still kind of scared of the show, in the episode Family, I wasn't that scared of him. I wasn't that scared of his family either, because, I mean, since he wasn't the only person with one eye on screen, I guess I felt a bit more comfortable. I especially love his older sister Chibo's design. She was always her design was always one of my favorites, with the beanie and the pink. I always liked it. And his little brother Gogo, he was also adorable too. Um, and then we have Roby. Roby, I feel so bad for being scared of him now, because if you had to ask me, him along with Fufa was one of my favorite characters. Um, when it came to him, his mouth, his when I was always used to run whenever his mouth used to turn upside down. Whenever his mouth used to turn upside down, it was just very, very eerie. I didn't know how to feel about it. I didn't like it. I don't like it. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like I said, I was so used to puppets before I discovered this show. Before I discovered this show, and just it was just I guess I'm so used to characters, people like making them talk and not like the characters' mouths moving by themselves. Yeah, I didn't like that either. I didn't. Now, like, whenever I don't really have like a full story of like how I found the show. It's just like one day I just like caught a glimpse of it and I just didn't like it. That's all I could tell you. I don't. I asked my parents how did they see the show. I asked anybody who watched TV with me, my grandparents, mainly my grandmother, and my parents. Don't. They don't. They just don't know. They just don't know why. They don't know why. Um. Now. I want to say a handful of segments I didn't like for some the party in my tummy song, though it was a bop. I will say, young if you would have asked younger me, I would have said like it's a bop without the visuals. It's a bop without the visuals, because like mm, they're just getting, I mean, like, the food, the character just being eaten and stuff, with the mouth, I mean, with faces, like they know they're being eaten. I mean, part of my tummy will always still be a legendary song to this day, don't get me wrong, but it's always been a thing I didn't like it just and I always like ran away whenever like uh the green beans and the carrots was talking, because their voices, I didn't like them either. They also scared me as well. And me being scared of Broby basically finish finishing them off, if you so to speak, you know, because they're being eaten too along with the other foods. I never really liked that either. I never really liked that either. And I also didn't like the segment "Don't Bite Your Friends." That always I didn't like that either. I don't like that either, because like I said, Fufa's one of my favorite characters, and you know the whole concept of her just getting bitten by Muno along with those teeth, along with his teeth. I didn't like that either. Um Also, I mean, if you remember what Muno used to look like in the two pilot episodes, um his teeth was like super sharp. So imagine if his teeth would have looked like that in the final show and it would have bit Fufa. That would have been bad. That would have been bad. Not saying they would show blood, but oh my goodness, I never liked that. Also, I also don't like the fact that when they're like bite bite bite, no no no, uh we see him, we saw Fufa and him in animated form, more than their animated counterparts in a few, but we also see Broby. And why is he even having thoughts on wanting to bite Broby, or like having a vision of that? It, that's kind of weird. I never liked that. And the fact that he went through sorry, the fact that he thought about biting my two favorite characters, you know, my and I will say it again, Broby and Fufa are my favorite characters. So that was not just only scary, but that was just also an insult. I didn't like that part either. And their two counterparts, I never liked them either. I also didn't like them in their 2D, cuz they had like flash games. I never liked them. I never liked their games. The concept sounded fun, but the way that they looked in 2D form, I much prefer their mascot form, even though I was still scared of them, to their 2D counterparts, because they look so, because they look too much alike from their show, even though they're animated. I don't I don't like it. I never did like it. It's just their 2D counterparts also scared me as well. I also didn't like the song "Don't Throw Things at Friends" because before the song started, Muno threw a snowball at Plex's head, and his eyes also moved. So that was really creepy. I didn't like that either. I did not like that either as well. And um and so basically, when somebody played the show for me, I would always run away. I would always start crying. I would always be like, I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch it. And they would just turn to the channel, and it's just there's just one of those childhood memories where like I I could, I mean, at the same time, I could understand, but I couldn't really understand because this show was put in a lot of love because there were so many people around me who loved the show. I remember commercials. I even remember commercials of when they had their live shows. Like, there's a party in my city. And when my parents even mentioned the idea of wanting to go there, I was like, no, no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there because I already seen them on TV, so it was scary enough. Having to see them in real life, even though I love Fufa and had a scary relationship and a love relationship between Broby when I was a kid, I couldn't do it. So they just shrugged it off, and they would just thought, okay, you don't want to go, that's fine, that's fine. I just I never liked it. I never liked it. Like I like all throughout my childhood, I would do my best to avoid this show. I would do my best to avoid this show. I would. And I just I couldn't I couldn't do it. Now, how I was able to mostly get over my fear of this show was when I was like around 8 years old. This is when Nick Jr. was having their like, they used to air, they had like their shows like um Blues Clues and the Backyardigans, and this show airing like in the middle of the night, like around like 3 a.m., which because before they used to air their shows in the daytime, but thanks to other higher rated shows, they had to move the classics into the early mornings. So it was a vivid memory. I remember I couldn't sleep that night, and I just wanted to put on something, just something to help me fall asleep. It was around Halloween. It was around Halloween. Um, I remember uh I wanted to watch the Backyardigans episode Follow That Feather in the middle of the night. But guess what was on? Guess what I had to watch before that? Yo Gabba Gabba. I had to watch Yo Gabba Gabba. And that was something didn't want to I didn't want to do. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just watch something else before. I'll just watch something else so that I don't have to watch this. But I'm scrolling through all the channels and I can't really find anything that's interesting me. So I'm like, I'm not gonna sleep in silence because I still hate doing that. I still hate sleeping in silence. So I just had to face my fears. And I was like, one small step for 8-year-old kid kind, one giant leap for Gabba kind. So I just went gun ho for it. And um and just it was from season 1. Season 1 kind of unnerved me the most because Broby still had that rough voice. In later seasons it got much higher. That's the voice I prefer. And also Muno, he still had like his high pitched voice, but sometimes his voice kind of like cracked sometimes. But that changed in later seasons. His name was Adam Dybert. He said that in an interview once. That's the person that voiced Muno. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch this. And for I remember for at first I had my eyes covered, but then the more I kept on watching, the more I was like, okay, this isn't that bad. I remember being much more scared of this than I was. But I kept on watching and watching and watching, and I was like, okay, maybe the show isn't as scary as I remember. As scary as I remember. And then once the show had ended, I mean the ending song was still kind of creepy too, you know? But I mean, I was able to get through it, and I was able to watch the Backyardigans after that. So, I mean, and for some reason I missed it. I missed watching it, and I was able to face my fears, and at nighttime as well, because people saying 3 a.m. is the creepiest place to be doing something. Uh, I don't believe in that. It's just that's not my. I don't do 3 a.m. things. Well, clearly I did, because to me that was had to be one of the most quote unquote scariest things I went through, but it wasn't. But it wasn't. It was way less scary than I expected. I was able to get over it. Now, here's where I quote unquote say I fill in the gaps with this show. So, I basically I still kind of avoided this show because I was getting older and stuff. I was getting older until one of my favorite YouTubers, she had made a lore video of this show, and she kept on reminding me of how much of an impact the show went. And I was like, okay, it's finally time to put all my fears behind me. So that's when I decided to rewatch episodes that I could remember at the top of my mind. And this was around when I was a freshman in high school. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. I was like, I'm going to try and get myself into the show. I'm going to try. And even if I don't, I'm going to tell myself, at least I tried. And it was a really good nostalgia trip, if I do say so myself. It was really good. And this was around the time when it was confirmed that they were going to have their whole Apple TV reboot, which I'll talk about in a second. I started rewatching some episodes from season 1. Let me think. Obviously, Eat, the first episode. Halloween, the Christmas special. Season 2 was also pretty strong too. Birthday, Birthday's now one of my favorite episodes. Um, Birthday. What is it? There's another one too. The one. It's the one with Clean. Those are also good too. And I will say season 3 episodes. There's not any I can name on the top of my head. Um. Oh yeah, Nature, where they had that cool diorama when they're hiking. That was also really cool too. And I also loved season 4 as well. I mean, season 4 was a little bit weak halfway through, but I loved the mermaids ones. I actually remember watching when it first aired, when the show had already wrapped up production, and they decided to air the episode in 2015. Like, that those type of time slots, I can't remember. I remember watching that episode vividly because my parents was trying to put in a DVD player for me in my TV because I wanted to watch one of my Lala Loopsy movies. And it just didn't work. So while they was trying to connect it, the episode was just playing. It was just playing while I was waiting, and towards the end of the episode, my parents was like, "We can't put it in. We don't know how to do it." And I was like, "It's okay. It's okay. I already watched Yo Gabba. It's okay. I'm already happy enough. Finished watching Yo Gabba Gabba. The mermaids episodes are my favorite ones out of this season. I love mermaids. I love this episode too, and and Bugs. I like that one too. Where Plex shrinks the rest of them down and they meet the Oski bugs. That was really cool too. So yeah, I'm happy I got to rewatch this show again. I'm happy because I'm really happy because I was feeling like my childhood self that could have been brave, that could have faced my fears, that could have. Well, I mean, I did face my fears at some point, but I was like really, really young in diapers. I mean, but I just felt like in those moments when rewatching the episodes, the kid I could have been, that could have been invested in the episodes, that could have gone to those live shows. I just It just made me feel happy. It really did, and it really made me feel like a diehard fan. It made me feel like a diehard fan. And on to the reboot. Obviously, we have no DJ Lance. We're replaced with Cammy Cam. But I will say, for those of you who don't agree with me, that's fine. I will say, I really like the reboot. I really do. And obviously, it got the hype that it did because we got a second season in January. We got a second season in January. Hopefully, it comes out with season 3. And I just, it was so good. It felt like, even though I wasn't a diehard, I felt like everything that the diehards missed from the OG still lives up now. Still lives up now. The whole land expanded. We have much more variety. We're meeting all new characters. All new characters. We're having just and the dancey dance. And Cammy Cam, she is a really good guest. She really is a really good host. In the OG DD Lands, he used to be like a teacher for them. I feel like Cammy Cam is like I mean, yes, here and there she does feel like a teacher, but she feels like, that friend, that gentle giant in the group that brings everyone together, you know? I mean, I will always miss DJ Lance. He was awesome. He is awesome. He is awesome. But Cammy, I feel like she just opens up the part of my brain that like young black girls can teach other kids around the world who love this show and who can also appeal to adults who are also diehard fans for this show, that she can too also be a good host, just as good as DJ Lance was. Not saying Lance won't always be the OG. He will, most definitely. But Cammy here, I feel like she does a great job. She's just as energetic as him. But, Lance, you will always be missed. But Cammy, she just something about her just really appeals to me. It always will. She always just makes me smile. She really does. And the scenery and the characters, I'm so happy they managed to get all the OG voice actors back. It's just amazing. Just amazing. And everybody sounds mostly the same, with the exception of the girls. I mean, with the exception of the girls, they sound a little bit different. To me, they kind of sound like, I mean, yes, their OG actresses are trying. They're doing a good job, but I feel like sometimes they're kind of straining themselves to make them sound like a little bit like their season 1 selves, like in the OG series. I don't know. But yes, I basically, this video was trying to say that, like, my complicated relationships with this show, how I was scared of it, why I was scared of it, and how I was able to grow as a person to really appreciate this show. Looking back at it now, sure, I'll have my moments, sure, I'll have my flashbacks, but once I really took the time to think about it, the show, how catchy the songs were, how good the scenery were, how amazing the guest stars were, I really, really felt myself engaged in the show. And I am happy that I don't care how old I get, I will still, sometimes have my love-hate relationship with the show, but nowadays with this show and the reboot too, it's mostly about love. Just like in season 1, it's mostly about love with this show for me. And I'm happy I got to give this show a second chance when I got older, and no longer be scared of it. I'm really happy. I am. And yeah. And if for all the fans of this show, listen. Let's not talk about the demo counterparts of Muno, Broby, and Plex. Okay? Because those, oh no, if I saw these in a dark alley, no, I will be running away. Thank you very much. And listen, another thing, in the 2 pilots, listen, I do not want to hear anything about my girl Fufa. Yes, I know, she doesn't look like how she does in the original, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. Y'all better not fat shame my girl. Yes, she sticks out like a sore thumb, but that ain't no excuse to be fat shaming her. And I mean that. Any fat shaming comments will be deleted. But with the demo counterparts of Muno, Broby, and Plex, you can talk about those all you want. But Fufa, if I hear anybody talking about Fufa, I swear, that's all I'm gonna say, because I'm not violent. But anyway, I just wanted to get this video out because it's unbelievable how it took me a year to finally do it. It's crazy, but I managed to do it, and that's all that matters. And I'm just happy I really like this. I'm just happy that more and more I keep on loving this show. And I'm starting to appreciate it more and more by the day. I am. So basically, it's up to you guys. Did you ever find this show scary? Did you ever find this show scary? Do you like it? Did you have the almost the same experience, as I did when I was a kid, and I started to appreciate the show now? Or do you just not like it? Which is totally fine if you don't. But yeah. Anyway, I will be seeing you all next time. Bye-bye.